Before I begin, I'd like you to sit down, rest your hands in your lap, and bring your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of your breath. Maybe it's cool air entering your nose or the rise and fall of your chest or belly. And invite your breath to lengthen, perhaps to a count of 5, inhaling deep into your belly. Inhaling to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your breathing return to normal and open your eyes if they happen to be closed. Now, I must confess, there's a reason I began that way. I'm going to be talking about the stress response and your nervous system, about how being stressed out can affect your physical and mental health, your ability to relate to others, and to listen. You'll learn how the breathing exercise I just asked you to do increase the chance that you'll pay attention to me and retain what I'm going to talk about. I'm Dr. Ann Seid, an integrative medicine doctor in Southern California. In addition to seeing patients, I also work with groups of incarcerated people, police officers, and fellow healthcare providers, teaching them how mind-body practices can affect our health. I'm sure everyone's heard of the fight or flight response. Our bodies have voluntary nerves that are under our control, like picking up a pencil or walking, and there's also involuntary nerves that control our heart rate and our breathing. It's a good thing these nerves function without the need for conscious direction, or else we'd spend a lot of time thinking every step of digestion, and each time we fall asleep, we'd stop breathing. This autonomic nervous system has 2 branches, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. You can think of them very simply like the gas pedal and the brake. The sympathetic nervous system on the right is a one-way highway. It takes messages from the brain and spinal cord throughout our body that prepares us for action. Our heart rates speed up, the lungs exchange more oxygen, pupils dilate, and digestion stops because who needs to expend energy on lunch when you need to run? In addition, there's a super fast signal that goes directly to the adrenal glands that then release the hormones adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones accentuate the stress response. They add to what the sympathetic nerves do and lead to other effects on many other body systems. It's a very elegant, very efficient cascade, and one that we couldn't live without. It in itself isn't a bad thing. The parasympathetic nervous system on the left is a two-way street. It's slower moving than the sympathetic, and it's the rest and digest and also discern or make good decisions portion of our autonomic nervous system. Messages from the brain cause pupils to constrict, heart rate lowers, salivation and digestion increase. When we're asked to pay attention, it's sometimes phrased as focus, because as a species, we're very visually oriented. When pupils are constricted under parasympathetic stimulation, we're physically capable of focusing. Conversely, dilated pupils take in a lot of light, but in a very unfocused fashion. This focus extends beyond the ability to see clearly. There's other changes that happen in the brain during parasympathetic predominance that help us to listen, concentrate, and learn better than in a sympathetic predominant state. In addition, the vagus nerve, which is a big parasympathetic nerve running from the lower brainstem into all the abdominal organs, also takes messages from the organs back to the brain. We now know that things that go on in our guts and in our heart affect our emotions and our thinking. It's partly due to the vagus nerve bringing that information back. So a healthy body comes from there being a constant flux between the sympathetic and parasympathetic branches. We're meant to have times of rest and times of activation. Existing in just one or the other leads to disease and untimely death. A healthy nervous system rapidly responds to threats, like jumping out of the way of an oncoming car or anticipating a dangerous or violent situation, followed by a quick return to being relaxed and ready. But today's world tends to be one where there's constant stressors. things that lead our sympathetic system to turn on and stay on, overriding our parasympathetic system constantly. This leads to chronically elevated levels of adrenaline and cortisol, which then leads to a whole host of other health problems like diabetes, heart disease, dementia, autoimmune diseases, and susceptibility to infection. You can try to turn off the sympathetic drivers. You could spend less time obsessively watching the news. You can eat a healthy diet. You can avoid contact with toxic people or situations. Or you can learn to augment your parasympathetic tone. Again, a healthy diet helps, a meditation practice, yoga, and breathing exercises like the one that we started with. I've had patients who are actually able to lower their systolic blood pressure by 10 points simply by breathing like you did, inhaling and exhaling to a count of 5. Remember the way this parasympathetic system is described as rest, digest, and discern. We know that a very turned-on stress response leads to tunnel vision and a decreased ability to take in new information. Teachers know this. Kids who are stressed out at home can't calm themselves, and they have trouble learning. And first responders' heart rates soar when they're called to a potentially tragic scene, and they find it difficult to perceive external stimuli outside the violence they've witnessed. When we began, the invitation to breathe slower caused your vagus nerve to sense this slower breath and take that information to your brain, leading to enhanced parasympathetic tone, so your heart rate lowered, your blood pressure dropped, and your eyes became more focused. You were more likely to pay attention and take in the information that was about to follow. When it comes to these messages from our internal organs to our brain, the one that gets put front of the line is always the one that's from our lungs. Breathing and the things that affect it get our attention faster than anything else. So if you want to trigger the relaxation response, using your breath is the fastest way. You can use this technique in times of sympathetic activation. The better you become at recognizing your own physiologic responses, the sooner you can intentionally engage in practices like the 5-count breathing that will modulate your own stress response, make you healthier, and also have an impact on those around you. Because if you can bring a healthier response into any situation, you're going to cause others to do the same. I'd like to leave you with one other breathing exercise. 5-count breathing is great, and it has an effect in the moment, but you don't always have a moment to step out of a situation. There's other breathing practices done over time that can lead to more parasympathetic tone, so that in those stressful moments, you'll be the one who already has more control over yourself and the situation. There's so many I could teach you, but my favorite is 4-7-8 breathing. I was taught this by Andrew Weil, and for me, this practice has cured me of my difficulty falling asleep. It didn't happen immediately. It took about a month of daily practice, but done regularly, 4-7-8 breathing enhances basal parasympathetic tone. My prescription for you is do this twice a day, every night when you lie down before you go to sleep, and pick one other time during the day when you can sit for a few minutes without distraction. The numbers refer to counting: 4 for inhalation, 7 to hold your breath, 8 for exhalation. The rate isn't important, the ratio is. Initially, you'll notice that the length of time you can hold your breath or the ability to take in enough to keep exhaling for a full count of 8 is what dictates your pace. But with practice, you'll be able to go more slowly. When inhaling, close your lips without clenching your teeth and inhale through your nose. When holding, try to do it without tightening your throat. And when exhaling, do so from your mouth, making a slight whooshing sound. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll count out loud for you to try it. Before you start, be sure to exhale and completely empty your lungs. Now it's your turn. In a seated position, exhale completely. And now inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you first begin to practice this, you may notice feeling a little lightheaded. This will pass as you become more used to holding your breath after inhaling deeply. And practice is what's important. You don't expect your fingers to remember how to strum a guitar without practice. So too, your nervous system remembers with repetition. It may be weeks before you notice any difference, but if you stick with it, you'll see results. Not just in your sleep, as I did, but perhaps in your ability to manage stress, your digestion, maybe even your ability to exercise more efficiently. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you found this brief science lesson interesting. Even more, I hope you find the breathing exercises to be helpful. I wish you good health.